Nanalo na ng Fountain Feud ng Team Point to bida ng 200,000 pesos.
Family Feud, 5:35 p.m.
Welcome to my episode that is called
That's okay.
After 4 days of tit-for-tat attacks, Iran and the US have agreed to halt hostilities again. A US official said the two sides will renew talks regarding their dispute over the Strait of Hormuz, raising hopes of saving an interim peace deal. The two sides could meet in Qatar on Tuesday, according to a report from Axios. It follows days of escalating strikes. Iran's Revolutionary Guards released video of what it says were joint missile and drone attacks targeting US military sites in Kuwait and Bahrain. Reuters could not independently verify that video. Tehran says those strikes were in retaliation for US attacks, which followed a hit on a tanker in the Strait of Hormuz.
تحت مدیریتی که ایران اتخاذ خواهد کرد
Meanwhile, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says Tehran will take control of managing the Strait of Hormuz once it reopens, a position Washington has previously said would be unacceptable. Israel has released footage it says shows its forces destroying a large underground tunnel belonging to Hezbollah in Lebanon. The US was informed ahead of the attack, according to a statement from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Iran has maintained that fighting in Lebanon must end if the deal with the US is to stick. In La Guaira, on Venezuela's coast, a father and son are rescued from a building 4 days after it collapsed on top of them.
Just want to take a quick look.
American rescue teams are now among those helping on the ground. But the window to find survivors is now closing fast. The death toll from Wednesday's twin quakes is now at almost 1,500, and tens of thousands of people are still missing. In the capital, survivors are still taking shelter in tents on roadsides. Many are families with young children, their belongings packed into plastic bags.
Toma, mi amor, toma.
They're unsure when or if they'll be able to return home, with some houses deemed structurally unsafe. Let's get some news on the markets now and what to watch out for this week with Mike Dolan from our sister podcast, Morning Bid.
Good morning. Yeah, we've had a noisy weekend back in the Gulf, like military exchanges, unnerving lots of people about just how over is this conflict. It appears before the oil markets got a chance to react this morning, there was a deal to resume talking between the US and Iran, and therefore we haven't got much of a reaction in markets. But it's a big week and a short week because Wall Street's on Friday for Independence Day. We have the end of the quarter, the half-year mark tomorrow, and that's been creating some degree of profit-taking in what has been a spectacular 3 months for the chip sector and the AI boom. We also get Kevin Walsh. He's speaking on Wednesday in Sintra in Portugal for at the ECB conference, and we also have a US employment report, which is due on Thursday before the July 4th holiday.
You can catch Morning Bid wherever you get your podcasts. A deadly heatwave is pushing into Central Europe and the Balkans after scorching Western Europe over the weekend. Temperatures hit 104 degrees Fahrenheit in some areas, with storms now moving into parts of France and Germany. French health officials have linked around 1,000 deaths to the heat, mostly older people, with that toll expected to rise. Scientists say the heat wave is among the worst on record in Europe, straining power supplies, transport, and healthcare systems. They also say that without climate change, extreme heat events like this would have been, quote, virtually impossible. For more on this record-breaking heat in Europe, check out this week's On Assignment and listen to data reporter Ben Welch explain just how unprecedented this moment really is. President Vladimir Putin has rejected Ukraine's proposal for a mutual halt to long-range strikes, saying Russia will press on until it fully captures 4 Ukrainian regions. Speaking on state television, he dismissed the proposal as a ploy to relieve pressure on Kiev's forces. He also called for a rapid ramp-up in air defense production to counter Ukrainian drone strikes targeting Russian oil infrastructure. Now, this Saturday, July 4th, the United States turns 250. But heading toward a milestone that's meant to unite the country. A new Reuters Ipsos poll reveals that 1 in 5 Americans won't be celebrating. To find out why, National Affairs reporter Tim Reed went to Bucks County, Pennsylvania, a key swing region that Trump won by a razor-thin majority in 2024.
A lot of the people we spoke to in Bucks County remembered very clearly 1976, the country's bicentennial. And they don't remember anything like this. They don't remember people being divided about celebrating America's birthday. They just remembered street parties and neighborhoods getting together and whole towns turning out to watch fireworks and celebrate together. And they feel like this 250th anniversary is extremely different and much more divided and extremely unusual. Trump's central involvement in the celebrations that are taking place in Washington, D.C. is a significant factor in some of these people we spoke to in their decision not to celebrate July 4th. They feel that it should be a celebration about America, and instead they feel that Trump has placed himself front and center at the celebrations, and he's turning this anniversary into a celebration of himself, and they find that really quite offensive.
Latino voters are among the most changeable voting blocs, experts say. Their political allegiances tend to shift with economic ebbs and flows.
Are there any issues that are top of mind for y'all these days?
Democratic candidate Manny Rutinel is focused on that as he campaigns for a House seat in Colorado's 8th Congressional District, where 40% of the population identifies as Latino.
We can't take any vote for granted, especially this community. We can't just assume that Latinos are going to vote for a Democrat just because they're a Democrat.
A May poll shows that 1 in 5 Latino voters remain undecided heading into the midterms. National Affairs reporter Brad Brooks visited Colorado's 8th District to find out why both parties are struggling to reach a demographic that appears to be up for grabs.
I mean, the voters in Colorado's District 8 really expressed a lot of dissatisfaction with the economy, of course, with inflation, with prices. They seemed to be really exasperated. What I heard from people was they didn't really know, who to turn to or which party to turn to. I spoke with people who had cast their ballot for President Trump in 2024, and some of them regretted that. That said, that doesn't mean that they are just jumping back to supporting Democrats. Most of the people we spoke with are up in the air. They don't know who they're going to vote for. They don't see either party necessarily as providing really good solutions or roadmaps for how to get some relief. And I think that's why, especially for Latino voters who are already, much more likely to be independent or unaffiliated and to be swingy, they're just not ready to give their support to one party or the other right now.
For more on any of the stories from today, check out Reuters.com or the Reuters app. Don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast player. If you're listening on a smart speaker, just ask for the latest news from Reuters 7 days a week. We'll be back tomorrow with our daily headline show.
That's it for your news updates. To see more stories, open Google News.